Hey everybody, this is D Hunter, bringing another action figure review. Today, we're going to look at the Neca Gargoyles Ultimate Hudson action figure. Now, I'm a huge Gargoyles fan. I watched the cartoon back when it first aired, and as an adult, I still appreciate and absolutely love the cartoon. It is my favorite animated show out there, hands down, and that is a bold statement. I put it above Batman the Animated Series. I happened to find this guy at Walmart today. It's literally the number one figure I've been looking for the past couple weeks. I knew there had been some sightings at Walmart, and just so happened to be there was a Hudson hiding behind a couple Goliath figures. Hudson was voiced by Ed Asner. Rest in peace. He passed away last year. So let's take a look at the packaging. As you can see, Disney's Gargoyles Hudson Ultimate action figure. Here he is on the front. Manhattan rooftop. He's got a sword out. It's snowing. He looks angry, old. I love it. Disney Gargoyles Hudson. One side of the package, got Hudson standing there with a sword. Other side, Hudson with an angry face. At the bottom, got a bunch of credits, and there is a barcode, in case that helps anybody. And on the back side, you can see Hudson. A bunch of different various poses. Here he is with his loyal dog Bronx. And here is a list of all the other figures. Still can't wait to get Lexington, Bronx, and Broadway to complete the Manhattan Clan. And then I cannot wait for Cold Stone, Xanatos, all the robots. This is a NECA Ultimate figure. Window box packaging, you could hear the Velcro on the inside flap. Here's Hudson, wings spread out. God, I hope his wings aren't loose like the other ones. And here he is in the package. Looks like a bunch of alternate hands. His signature sword. Removable tail, wings, 2 heads, plenty of accessories. So no further ado, let's open him up. Alright, now they got this figure out of the package. Here he is with all his accessories laid out. He comes with 5 alternate hands, totaling 7 interchangeable hands, removable tail, removable wings, 2 heads, and his sword. This is Hudson. He was the original clan leader. Eventually he became old and let Goliath take over. But he was always there as his mentor. It was really cool walking into a store and actually finding a figure that's not available online yet. Doesn't happen to me too often. So let's take a look at him. Start with his head here. Thick gray beard. One eye with a scar through it. Different color in the other eye. It's yellow, probably dead. Only see it in this eye. You can see some of his teeth sticking out. Head sculpt is fantastic. The ridges, it all screams Hudson. Pointed ears. Long white hair. A little bit of armor on him. Kind of fat belly. Some man boobs. Little loincloth here. He's got pants on. Texturing is pretty nice. Looks like double jointed elbows. Single jointed knee. You can see his giant feet, the talon on the back. Looks like he's got a little sheath for his sword. Digging it, that's for sure. One step closer to completing the clan. And just a closer look at his face and head sculpt. I personally am a big fan of how NECA did this sort of semi-realism mixed with the animated look. And here he is, broken down as far as he can go, with all of his accessories laid out. Now let's check out those accessories, and let's start off with his hands. He has a total of 7 hands. 4 right hands, 3 left hands. Here he is, with his first pair of hands. These are his fists. Then, with his next pair of hands, these are both gripping hands. Left hand is a very large grip. His right hand a much smaller grip. And he has an additional right hand with a slightly smaller grip, which is odd. I guess this is for a sword, but he only has 1 accessory to hold, so it seems odd to give him so many different sizes of gripping hands. And here he is, with his final pair of hands. These are some open hands, sort of clawing hands. Now let's get this gargoyle put together. Let's attach his wings. The wings appear to be very similar to Goliath's. I notice they have some holes in them. He's a much older gargoyle, been around a long time. The sculpting, the different sort of shading on the paint looks fantastic. A little talon up there. Articulation at the base. Different color on the outside. So here's Hudson with his wings attached. Giant, huge wingspan. Honestly, far too big. I'm sure they're going to give us some future wings for him, more casual wings, but I want him now. It's really hard for him to interact with other gargoyles with wings this big. That being said, very pleased with how they executed this. My Goliath, Thalog, and Demona, their wings suck. They're so loose, they fall down. It's very hard to get him to do anything right. His wings are very tight. They're staying into any pose, any position with complete ease. That is fantastic. It looks like Neca's working on getting that better. In addition to that, some of the other gargoyles, when you put the wings on, their hair goes behind the wings and it makes them look down. Same thing applies to Hudson, but his beard sort of prevents it from really affecting him. Essentially, all my complaints, except for how big the wings are, have been addressed and fixed with this figure. Maybe I just got lucky, I don't know. But my Goliath and Thalog at least have one wing that's totally loose. Demona is no better. Hudson, no problems here. Thank you. Now it is going to be hard for him to interact with the other gargoyles with about a 10-foot wingspan or whatever this is. And a quick look at the wings articulation. So, like I said, mine very tight. Excellent. I can put them up. They stay. So they can rotate, and they're also hinged. You can hear the difference for spots that get stuck in ratcheting. It sounds like you're breaking it, but you're sure not. So very, very pleased with how his wings came out compared to some of the other gargoyles I have. That is for sure. Number one execution there. Now let's look at his tail. Pretty smooth, sort of rubbery piece. It's got a bendy wire in there. You can sort of get it to take different shapes. Little holes on the other side to breathe. It does have some articulation here. It's got a hinge joint. I'll have to free that up. And it should be able to rotate as well. So pretty cool. Hinge, rotation, and the bendy wire. Here he is without the tail. You can see it's going to plug in this little hole here. No homo. And here he is with the tail attached. The trick is sort of bend the tail like this. This guy will never fall off your shelf. Have him leaning back, his weight against the tail. And since we got his tail and wings going on, let's talk about his feet. So Gargoyle's feet are giant. They got little claws, talon on the back. Now the easiest way to stand them is like this. All their toes sort of on the ground there, but that's not accurate. The right way to stand a gargoyle is going to be to bend the feet like this. Bend the toe forward, and they're going to stand on each one of their feet about like so. Their back talon never really hitting the ground. Now it's very hard to actually stand them like this. That's where the tail comes in. You can get it just right, balance on the tail, he'll look good, never fall over. And then you have your Hudson fully set up. Altering the feet adds a little bit of height to him. These are some big action figures, and they should be. They're 7-inch scale. That more or less means a 6-foot tall person should be about 7 inches tall. And the gargoyles are way bigger than people. I'm glad they're big. They're going to fit in well with my other action figures. Now let's look at his heads. He has two of them. One with a normal expression, and one with an angry expression. Here he is, with his first head. Then, with his second screaming angry head. He'll look good in a pose like this. Angry, growling, clawing, moving toward you. Now let's look at his sword. Or dagger. It has been through a lot. The blade has all kind of scuffs, dings on it. Nice little sculpting here. Then the handle. Gold at the top. A little wrap down below. Looks like a slightly more realistic version of the cartoon, and I really like the end result. Here he is, holding his sword. And here he is, holstering his sword. Now they've taken a pretty good look at both the figure and his accessories. Now let's check out his height. From bottom to the top of his head, staying at about 8 inches tall, which can translate to about 20 centimeters. Now let's check out his articulation. Starting with his head here, of course, going to rotate from side to side. The beard obstructs a little bit. You can kind of get it over his armor, but it's really all you're going to get there. As far as up and down, damn near nothing there too. So quite limited on the head. Shoulders, a ball joint, goes out a little bit less than 90 degrees. I'll tell you, quality's pretty good on this guy. I had nothing stuck, nothing I'd use hot water for. Up, down, around. I've noticed a lot of the Neca releases haven't had those stuck issues like typical. Bicep cut. Double jointed elbows go all the way in. His wrist can rotate, and it's going to be hinged as well. He's got ball joint in his torso, rotate around, forward and back just the tiniest bit. Another one is waist, rotate around, forward and back. Still pretty limited, but put them together, you can move them around a good amount. Legs, does splits, sword's kind of obstructing this one, but you can take that out. Ball joints inside of here. The leg can rotate independently of the ball. They go forward, about that much, not too much. Back, about like that. Might help with a flight pose. Looks like single jointed knee. Goes back about 90 degrees with a rotation. Then his ankle here. Forward and back. Tilt rock. Looks like not the traditional rotation. And toe articulation. Let's not forget about the tail. The bendy wire. Can do a lot of things with that. You can rotate it, and it's hinged. Then its wings, they can rotate, and they're also going to be hinged going back. Here's Hudson with his loyal dog Bronx. They're walking down the hallway in the castle in Manhattan. Maybe that shot would look better without the wings. God, we really need more options there. Then, a noise startles them. They're ready for war. Just like the old times, protect the castle. Here are our 3 members of the Manhattan clan, Hudson, Bronx, and Goliath. I cannot wait to complete the clan, and get enemies, and get allies, and extras, and to see future reveals. It's a very slow moving line, but I can't wait to be 2 years from now, and have a huge collection. Here's Goliath and Hudson, perched on top of a rooftop, about to glide into the New York skies. And here's Hudson on top of a building, about to come crashing down on his enemies. Now let's switch to another castle setup. Here's the Manhattan clan, on top of the castle, on top of Xanatos' tower. And a closer look at the 3 of them interacting with each other. Can't wait for it to be the full 6, or 7, or even more depending on which time period you're looking at. Here are our 2 gargoyle warriors, taking on some Steel Clan robots. I can't wait for the real thing. I'm probably going to get 6 of those guys. Now let's check them out, next to some other action figures. Starting off with some other Neca Gargoyles figures. Here he is, next to Neca's Goliath with the relaxed wings. You can get a lot closer to Hudson with those wings on than with his outstretched wings. Goliath is a little bigger than Hudson, as he should be. He is in fact a Goliath. Here are the 2 figures with their outstretched wings. The wingspan is giant, it's like 10 feet. You can see kind of what I mean, but it's hard for them to interact with each other with these giant wings. Turn them sideways, the wings are going to hit the wall. Have them next to each other, they're going to clink each other. They have to stay so far apart. You know, the wings overlap, and it just looks weird. They're just too big. They're kind of a burden. Now do not misunderstand me. That is not to say his wings do not look gorgeous. They look fantastic for when he's gliding, or looking menacing on top of a rooftop. But they really should come with the standard sort of cloak wings as their main wings, or at least wings that are a little bit upright behind them. That way it's not taking up as much room. Might make them a little taller. I haven't actually seen a single set of wings like that yet. That's how they were the majority of the time in the show. And that's definitely the wings they should have come with. Really, they probably should have come with 2 pair of wings, but these figures are already crazy expensive as it is. I guarantee there will be a ton of accessory packs. Just gonna be kind of disappointing if some figures get relaxed wings, some don't, etc. Then you're left with a choice of having some of your figures with relaxed wings, some of them with no wings at all, sort of pretending their wings are covered up. It's just not as fun if you don't have the actual wings attached to the figures. But in a lot of ways, it's preferable to having those giant wings. Here's his next to Bronx, another member of the Manhattan clan. He's kind of sort of the gargoyle's dog, but he's a dog gargoyle. Never really fully made sense, but it's kind of cool. There were so many different variations of gargoyles in the show. Bronx was always sort of Hudson's pet. The 2 of them had a special bond together. Bronx is a lot smaller, but cost the same. He came with the relaxed wings for Goliath, which most certainly do not work on Hudson. And here's the entire Manhattan clan so far. We're going to be getting Broadway, Brooklyn, and Lexington in the near future. I'm not sure which one's next. For some reason I want to say it's Brooklyn. Can't wait to have the entire clan. Eventually I'm sure they'll add Angela. And I'm personally going to have Cold Stone as part of the clan too. Here he is next to Demona. Demona's a really good looking figure. She was one of the main villains in the show. She used to be part of the clan. My Demona, her wings absolutely suck. Just will not stay up, no matter what. I know there are some solutions out there, so I kind of have to display mine with her wings a little lower. Here are these 4 gargoyles interacting together in the castle. Before all the stuff went down, the clan got destroyed. They were asleep for 1,000 years. The castle got moved to New York. These guys were a family. They were a clan together. I would love to see a prequel series addressing some of those times. Here's Hudson next to Thalog. Thalog was the second release in the Gargoyles line, and I think it was a mistake, them just giving us a straight-up re-release of Goliath as the second figure. Sure, it's a totally different character, and its opponent for the Gargoyles, but it's not even Thalog in its main look. Pretty disappointed with that figure. They should have given us the armored look with the gun. If I want Thalog in my collection, that's the Thalog I want. But of course, I was very happy to add another Gargoyle to the collection. But it's literally a straight-up repainted Goliath. Maybe a slightly different head. That's about it. Here's the entire collection of Gargoyles figures. They all look fantastic. It looks like they're working on the quality control and improving the wings, which is a big deal. I'm assuming the next one's going to be Brooklyn. Then we're at Broadway and Lexington. They've also shown us 2 versions of Xanatos, one of the business suit, one of the robot, the Steel Clan, and Cold Stone. And you know that's not where they're going to end. I can say with 100% certainty, we're going to get Elisa Maza and Angela. I also definitely expect to get Thalog with the proper armor on. I'd say the next after that, probably expect them to make some pack figures. And they're probably going to make them in their enhanced versions, although personally, I would love to complete the original pack team first. But man, I would love the mutates, Gargoyles from other clans, etc., etc. Coldstone before he was a robot. Just an endless amount on my wish list. Now let's check out Hudson. It's some different various castle-type dioramas. Here's the main sort of diorama I've been using for this video. The 2 doorways on either side are for the Mezco 112 Collective Frankenstein doorways. And then in the center there, it's an older Mezco Silent Screamers Golem doorway. Thought they worked pretty good together. Brick wall, old school doors. Definitely makes me think of Castle Wyvern. Here's Hudson in front of the old Kenner Gargoyles Castle. I was really happy to get this on eBay many years ago. I use it for Ra's al Ghul's Castle, but now that Gargoyles figures are out, so happy to have this thing. Here it is fully open with Hudson in front, from the outside castle part. Then, turned around the open way. Hudson on the inside. Of course, it's intended for a much smaller scale figure than these guys, but still a pretty cool background piece. Here he is in front of Mattel's giant Castle Grayskull set. Another fantastic castle, scaled a little better with these guys. Here he is, with the castle opened up from the outside, and here he is, in front of the castle on the inside, opened up. Scale's pretty nice with these figures. Here's Hudson in the Extreme Sets dungeon playset. Yeah, it's a dungeon, but it's made of bricks and works for a great castle background. And is also very spacious and roomy for these gargoyles, especially with these giant wings. Now let's check them out. Next to some other Gargoyle-esque type figures. Figures you could use, possibly as other gargoyles in your collection, and they look kinda similar. Here he is, next to a Neca Bat Gremlin. And here, next to a Kenner Legends of the Dark Knight Man-Bat, and a DC Direct Secret Files Rogues Gallery Man-Bat. Then, with a McFarlane DC Multiverse Man-Bat, this is a big boy here. And here, next to a DC Direct Arkham Knight Man-Bat, and a DC Direct Batman The Animated Series Man-Bat. And now, next to a couple of Mattel DC Universe Classics Man-Bat figures. Here's Hudson with some smaller Man-Bat type figures. And here he is, next to a Bat Creature from Batman vs Superman. Then, with a Wingnut figure from NECA's Animated Turtles line. Here's this Neca Gargoyles Hudson, next to a Neca Aliens Hudson figure. Now let's check them out. Next to some action figures from different various companies to see how he fits in both scale and style-wise, in case you know what lines you can mix him with. Since he's a NECA figure, they're typically the 7-inch scale. He is bigger than 7 inches, but gargoyles are bigger than humans. I'm going to start off my comparisons with some of the large action figure lines I collect, and work my way smaller. Here he is, with some of his NECA brothers. In front of you are 5 different action figure lines, all from NECA toys, all 7-inch scale. Then, with some more NECA toys, also 7-inch scale. And now, with some Jack-specific wrestling figures. And here he is, with some DST or Diamond Select toys. Then, next to some McFarlane toys. And here he is, standing next to some DC Direct and DC Collectibles figures. Then, next to some Mattel wrestling figures. And now, with some Jazzwares AEW wrestlers. And here he is, next to some Mezco 112 collective figures. Then, with some Mattel DC Universe Classics and Multiverse figures. And here he is, with some Mafex figures. Then, with some Hasbro Marvel Legends. And here he is, next to some SH Figure Arts action figures. And finally, next to some Jazzwares Fortnite figures. So overall, this is a fantastic action figure. He looks great. Sculpt and paint job are excellent, no issues there. Accessories are pretty good. I'm happy they came with his iconic sword. It's a very important accessory for this character. He looks fantastic with Bronx. Articulation is pretty good. No stuck joints, no quality issues. No quality issues on the wings, which really surprises me. Now, he's not perfect. Biggest complaint are the wings. They're just too damn big. These are some good alternative wings, but they shouldn't be his main wings. That being said, if I were to rate this figure, I'm going to give him a very solid 8 out of 10. I'm enjoying the hell out of this guy, and I can't wait to complete the Manhattan Clan. They cannot come soon enough, but damn, these guys are getting expensive. This guy's like $36.99 at Walmart, and most websites are $42, $45, etc. It's just getting nuts. A figure like this should be $29.99 max. It is gorgeous, do not get me wrong. So this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you liked the video, press like below. If you have anything you want to say about the video, add to the comment section. If you want to see additional action figure reviews from me, press subscribe. I do appreciate when you do that. Once again, this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I will talk to you guys real soon.